This is the second installment of Zasdan Speaks, and I'm in a much different head than I was in the last time. If there's any kiddies around, you best put them to bed because I plan on fucking using every word in my vocabulary and, living the life that I did. A lot of them are fucking swear words. Mainly fucking. Because there's the fuck clause. The fact that fuck can be added into any sentence, situation, or agreement and make perfect sense. Like, he's a fucking asshole. Makes complete and total sense. Or, like, I was going to the fucking place and I misread the fucking directions and I ended up at the fucking other fucking place and I fucked it up, okay? Fuck. And all of those are acceptable uses of fuck in the fuck clause, which implies that basically it can be used in the English language just about anywhere, as just about any part of speech, and be completely acceptable. Unless I guess you're some sort of a crazy Bible thumper or somebody else who thinks that fuck is going to make you less or hurt you somehow, which I never understood. Because my mother raised me not to believe in censorship. The idea that a single word in a long string of words is unacceptable, but what they're saying isn't. And the whole idea that a word, regardless of its meaning, is bad, but what you're trying to express is not, is just completely unfathomable. I mean, really, it's the most illogical thing you can ever fucking say. Like, you bleep a word in a movie and somehow it's okay. Like, wait, no, they didn't say shit, so it's alright for them to talk about smoking the fucking Mexicans. Like, seriously, did Donald Trump make up the censorship laws? Or, like, what the fuck is going on in our country? Because we have so many examples of just the stupidest shit mattering. I thought about it for more than just a minute and I realized, I better talk about stress. Because it's an important thing. It's something that affects all of us and it can be subtle, it can be extreme, and if we don't deal with it properly, it destroys us. The health effects of stress are well related, and in fact, it's why often in very low income, especially, I use ghetto in the extremely literal original German term, like the fucking Nazis used it as a neighborhood with only one ethnicity. But whenever you take a bunch of folks and stick them in one area and don't feed them properly, don't give them opportunities, and make their life hell, what the fuck do you think is going to happen? Stress. And we've proven medically very well that stress is a fucking killer. It shortens lifespans, and it's the biggest reason why, especially African American, but other disenfranchised minority communities in our own country, the United States of America, for folks who aren't members of our country, welcome, and I'm glad you don't have to have our experience. I guess fucking it's powerful. It really is. I mean, my own life. I work a job where I frequently have to work 14-hour days. Hell, I had weeks where I worked 84 hours a week. And yeah, some of us might remember when they were talking about Foxconn a couple of years ago. That's where all of your smartphones came from. Every single one of them were made at Foxconn, where their 50-hour a week mandatory work shifts were considered a human rights violation because only Americans think that 40 hours is a good amount of hours to work a week. Everywhere else in the world, in the entire fucking world, thinks that that's just asinine. That's way too much. But this is the only place where you can fucking work your ass off. And I mean your ass off. For 80 fucking hours a week. And have nothing to show for it. And it's crazy, I basically worked in a sweatshop. And I've got nothing. I have no savings. My debts aren't paid off. I got a beer in my hand. That's about all it'll give me, is a beer. And honestly, if I was buying Kool-Aid, the bag of sugar plus the packet would equal my beer fucking expenditure. So don't act like I'm wasting my money by having a fucking PDR. Holy shit. And it just makes you wonder, why do we generate so much stress on ourselves? Because we really don't need to. Most of this stress comes from the inability to combat what we must deal with. And really, our lives should be fun. They really should. Richest country on earth, most prosperous in its industry, and yet somehow the majority of its populace lives unfulfilling lives where they're not properly rewarded for what they produce, and we're the most productive workers in the world. Why? Because, as I kind of alluded to earlier, the rest of the world understands that A, people need a fucking break from time to fucking time, otherwise they go insane. Maybe that might be part of explaining why this country is constantly shot up by its own people. Because gun control or no gun control, how do we breed so many fucking nutball insane people per capita compared to any other country? And it's because we want to. Because money is a lot easier to make than a happy worker when it comes to my money compared to your happiness. Because that's really what it comes down to, is there are people who are saying, I want more money, fuck you all. And we really need to stand up against that. We need to put a stop to it, and we need to start to change how we view things, how we view ourselves, and how we view each other.